So boys, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this one. It's a flipping Rolls Royce, mate. It's like, I did not expect we'd ever have a Rolls Royce on this round. Welcome to NAWFABZ. Stop the track. I do need to let you in on a little secret about this car before we go any further. So, it was originally a V12 engine. Yeah, not anymore.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Right, so we're here with Dan, who owns the Rolls Royce. Dan,
right.
I know everyone's going to want to know the answers to this question. Why on earth have I got your flipping Rolls Royce on here with a BMW engine in it? Why? Tell them why.
Well, I like to be different. I came across this with a knackered V12 petrol in it. I do a lot of miles, so the last thing I want's a V12 petrol, like, almost an 8 litre. Yeah, I've got an old Silver Shadow with a 606 in. I always wanted to do this, so I scratched the itch and bought it, and here we are now.
He's mental, absolutely mental. Straight
piping it.
So, so is it M57? Is it a 330D engine? Is it? Or
it come out of a 7 Series. So these are actually based on a 7 Series. Yeah. So a lot of stuff similar on them.
Never looked underneath one. I've no idea. It's going to be completely new for me. I've never looked underneath one.
Yeah, I hadn't myself. In all honesty, I'd never been near one. I'd always seen them online and fancied one, and I'd never actually been in one or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 7. Just standard at the minute. It's just got a large stage 1 map on it. I ordered a turbo the other night. Luckily, it is just standard, so it'll bolt on. It's not going to affect the downpipe or anything. It's only slightly bigger.
Yeah.
But it suits the car perfectly. You'll see when.
I'm interested to drive it because it's a big bus, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a big car. When this pulled up, I was like, wow, it's massive. I didn't realise how big they were.
I was worried, you know, thinking it's heavy. But you wouldn't, if you didn't know any different, you didn't know the sound of a diesel engine, you'd jump in that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know, you know, you wouldn't think, hey, this is underpowered. Or
and everything else works perfect. I've only just drove it in. Gearbox all works perfect on its original shifter. Have you managed all that?
So it's the the 7 Series gearbox I've used. With the loom, I've just wired it all in a CAN bus, and luckily, I was a bit like, is it, isn't it? And everything worked. Cruise control works. Obviously, I've put it on airlift, so I've got a level suspension fault, which I'm trying to code out. But obviously, as you probably know, with coding, with vehicles that come from the factory with different options, you can turn them off. Whereas the problem with this I've found is it only comes with air suspension, so you can't sort of tell it hasn't got it. There's no option.
Yeah, I'm weird.
But I'll get round it eventually.
And tell them about your other one. This is not the only mad Rolls Royce he's got. He's only got another.
A Silver Shadow as well with an OM606 in.
The Silver Shadow's the older one, isn't it? It's a lot older looking.
I'll send you a couple of pictures.
This is an absolute gangster car. Yeah, I'll post pictures in. He sent me a couple of pictures of it. This is like this is the OG for me. Absolutely gangster looking, aren't they? The Silver Shadow's more James Bond, isn't it? Like it's old, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still pretty cool.
The Silver Shadow, you wouldn't live with that every day. It's a nice toy, but like you couldn't live. Whereas this, I use it daily. I go to work in it.
This is daily. He's got a car seat in back of it. He's running it. He's running it. Imagine his young'un pulling up to school with this.
I get questions all the time when we're doing weddings. That's the only downside to it.
And answer this question only if you want to. How much did you pay for a car as a non-runner?
30k, I guess.
30 grand as a car what doesn't run. You got to take balls, doesn't it? It just takes balls letting go of 30 grand for something what doesn't run.
Yeah, I give 30k for it. I give £1,000 for the 7 Series and then set 2.
So you're in a bit of a labour of love as well, but you've got a cheap Rolls Royce, haven't you? Because it's worth a penny, innit?
Of course, yeah. So
it's worth a pretty
But it was
penny,
a gamble on it. Could have gone either way.
I remember when you first sent me, I looked on eBay, I was like, how much that thing's got to be worth a fortune? They are worth a fortune, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
it's a hard thing to value now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because
to some people, they wouldn't want it.
Yeah, you're not going to want no posh golfer. He's going to turn his nose up at it and he's
No,
not interested.
exactly. Whereas if you wanted one to use, then it's the one to have, isn't it? Rather than being at every petrol
station. So you tell everyone, Dan, what it's here for, what are we doing on it?
So you're going to do a valve system on it. It'll be running silence most of the time, but when I want to, I can open taps up.
Yeah.
And you know, I put a nice hard cut on it for you. Just for the
hard cut limit in a Rolls Royce.
Just for the process of the video.
This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So essentially, guys, we're doing a 3-inch valved exhaust with a silencer on one side because it is, you can't see it, but underneath there it is a dual split exhaust. We're keeping it that way. We were toying with idea, we weren't what to do with it.
Yeah.
I've said that we're better. I think we're better off discreet. Put tips on there.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's going to look a bit too much. We're going to be better off just keeping it discreet. So 3-inch. One side straight pipe, one side with a silencer, so we can actually make it louder at the press of a button. Bit should be really simple, in all honesty. We've got to find an ignition live, but Dan's just told me whereabouts everything is. He's obviously wired air riding. What a motor, folks. What a motor. Never ever did I think we'd have a Rolls Royce Phantom up ramp, that's for sure. And I'll tell you one thing, I hope ramp lifts it. I hope it lifts it.
2.7.
Oh, no, she'll be fine. It'll be fine, it'll lift it.
Might be a little bit lighter now, because the M57 is slightly lighter than the M73 that it did have in. So.
Yeah, minter. And where have you come from? You come a fair way,
I've come from Ulverston up in Cumbria, yeah. It's about just over 3 hours it was.
So it's come a fair old way.
Worth coming, you know.
Big shout out to Dan, he's come a fair old way for this. So yeah, I think that we'll drop that there, and we'll get cracking, shall we? Well boys, before we go any further with this video, I thought I'd put it right here in the video because only the ones that are still watching deserve to hear this. This is big news. The exhaust giveaway is officially happening. I am giving one of you guys an exhaust system this Christmas. I am going to make one of your Christmas day. It's going to be really simple to enter. There's going to be a separate video coming out very shortly after this one that's going to explain all the details on how to enter. But one thing I can tell you, you need to be subscribed to the YouTube, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, make sure you do not miss that video. It's going to be so simple to enter, and I don't care whether you've got a Fiesta or whether you've got a Ferrari, one of you is winning an exhaust system completely free this Christmas. Hit that subscribe button, guys, hit the like on this video, let's get back to workshop, let's get this Rolls Royce finished. So boys, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this one. It's a flipping Rolls Royce, mate. It's like I did not expect we'd ever have a Rolls Royce on this ramp. Let's have a look underneath together for the first time. We've just had well, I said first time, that's a little bit of white lie. I've had a quick look with Dan himself. We've had a little talk about what we're going to do, but let me show you guys for the first time what it looks like under here. Because I'm guessing, like me, you've probably never seen underneath a Rolls Royce. Not many people have. So here's what it looks like as standard underneath a Rolls Royce. Not that much going off, to be fair. And like Dan himself said, it is very BMW-like. It shares a lot of things with BMW. So one thing I didn't know, he's just told me, is that it is running factory air ride. He's just converted it to a manual controller so he can control it, so that's pretty cool. Exhaust, well, as you can imagine, it's had some choppity chop, it's had some work done. He's butchered it. And he said he's also said he wished he didn't butcher it because they were for pretty penny. It's a bit late now. So here's where it comes down off of the M57 engine. Look at the space, man. We could get a wheelie bin in here, there's so much space. It's absolutely unbelievable for us to work on. He knows about an oil leak, he's got a little bit of an oil leak, he knows about that. Yeah, it pretty much just bolted straight in it from what he's telling us. Prop shaft, he's had to space prop shaft up here a little bit, and he's having a bit of a custom prop shaft made just because it's a little bit short. But again, minor. Exhaust downpipe bolted straight up. He's had to weld a little bit there, look. Not to worry. But this is where it gets funny, look. So obviously the Rolls Royce used to be a V12. Would have had twin bank exhaust, so they've just capped one side off and just piped it straight in there. But what Dan didn't know is that it's got a valve as stand. Well, he did know, but he didn't realise how the valve worked. So it's valved on the back. This is a 44mm tube. So at the minute, this BMW engine is choking through that one little tiny tube. And he says it goes all right. So it's going to go really well when we've finished. We're going to unlock probably 20 more horsepower just from an exhaust. What a car, guys. You're going to enjoy this one. Let's get this exhaust off. Let's start building it. The quicker we build the exhaust, we can get for a ripped out road in it. See what a Rolls Royce drives like. It's absolutely gangster inside. I love it.
You're going to take it off in pieces or
well, it's not. The whole thing is one piece. The entire exhaust is one piece. Well, I'm getting he ain't going to be taking it with him, is he? He's already chopped it to death, so should we just finish job and just cut it in half? Because he's not going to be, it's not going to fit in here in one piece, is it? So we may as well just cut it, make our life a bit easier.
We're going to have to drive through Chelsea Town in it and hard cut limiter it.
Hard cut limiter, that is brilliant.
You just grab that gasket.
I've just put that gasket on ramp, yeah. So yeah, folks, it is very BMW-y. In case you didn't know, BMW does share a lot of things with a Rolls Royce, like the exhaust. The diff is a BMW diff, BMW drive shafts. The whole back end looks like a BMW, and the exhaust rubber's a BMW one. So yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. It does share a lot of things with BMW. I know, there's no wonder it's so heavy. Look at the size of them things. Can't express to you how heavy that exhaust is.
Vacuum.
Yeah, it had valves, so originally, look, it were only running, you got 6 cylinders running through a 44mm tube. This engine's going to not know what's hit it once we unleash all 3-inch on it.
Got a slightest bit through that, but not much.
Yeah, tiny little bit. Right then, we've finally got that one off. It's time to start making our version. So I think we're going to reuse this flange. This is obviously an eBay special downpipe what he's bought, but the flange itself does fit on the turbo nice. Now that wouldn't be difficult to make at all, but it's, I mean, it's a stainless downpipe at that. So I'll just cut that off, take it upstairs on lathe, clean it up, it'll look like brand new. Never even know it came off of there. I think that's probably the best option, isn't it? There's no sensors in it, so we don't need any of this crap. And it steps down horribly to like 2 1/4, 2.5 inch, which we don't want. We're going 3-inch the whole way. So I think we'll cut that off first and we'll clean it up. There we go. See, I told you you'd never tell the difference that is not brand new now. Looks like it just came out of the factory. Man, it's a little bit of burn back here on edges, but that's going to get welded again anyway, and it makes no difference. The problem now is the flange is 3.5. We're working with 3-inch. We need to fill in that gap. That's where the trusty old expander is going to come in. Watch out, doggy. Right, my dog wants to sit on my feet. So this little magic machine is going to take this up to that easily. Absolutely beautiful. Easy when you've got the right machinery to do the job. There we go then. That is the flange ready to go. That's officially the start point. Let's start building. So here space is on our side. As there is so much room, this is going to be so easy. The downpipe is going to be done in 2 bends, literally. And there is the first leg done. That is the downpipe complete. We're going to do it in probably a couple of sections, so rather than it all being one piece like it were, made it a nightmare to work on. Downpipe's going to be like that. The next part's going to slide over that, it's going to clamp to that. So now, get that on, make the mid-pipe, we'll weld that later on. Same with majority of the mid-pipe. Again, so much space, 2 bends, boff, straight there, done and dusted. So I have had a change of plan. You remember originally, earlier on in the video, I said we were going to get to this part here and we were going to do a split before diff. Right, we've had a change of plan on that now. The reason I've had a change of plan is because thinking back to when I've done these before, these are quite a very whistly engine. So I don't want it to be whistly with the valve closed, or I'm going to try and limit it to the best of my ability and the space I've got. The silencer holes at the back, they're not that big, really, considering they are quite small holes. I can't really get all that much of a big box in there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to run 3-inch off of this main tube. We're going to run 3-inch all the way back to this side, which is where the valve's going to be. That's essentially going to be the straight pipe side. And then we're going to branch off the 3-inch tube with smaller 2.5-inch tube, and we're going to do a silencer on that side. And rather than it being a straight through silencer, we're also going to chamber the silencer internally to try and lose some of that whistle. I'm essentially trying to make the biggest difference between open and closed. With the valve closed, it's a Rolls Royce. I want the thing quiet. I don't want it whistly. I don't want it loud. Obviously, he wants it loud on a button, so we want to make the 3-inch side really loud. Wait, shut up. We're live. I want to make the 3-inch side really loud. So that, if you're thinking, why aren't you doing the split there? That's why we're not doing the split. We're going to do it a little bit different now. That's all good. We've just marked that up. We've got a pen mark there. I'm more than happy with that. It looks lovely at back here. You're good at front. It's nice and level. So I think let's whip that off. Just get that tacked up, and then mid-pipe essentially, not done, but tacked together, innit? It's just, although the thing is ginormous, it's simple. So it's like, they're all simple angles, it's just a lot of tube. This back bit's not gonna be so simple here though. The reason this is not gonna be so simple is because there's not really space to route 3-inch through. Now I'm already noticing it's gonna be an issue where this rubber is. We're probably gonna have to change that, but we'll cross that bridge in a second. Let's get this mid-pipe tacked up, and we'll cross that bridge in a second. Yep, 1 second. Just get it square. Right there, looks good.
Carry you.
Right, what clearance have we got with that toe bolt? Because I can't see from here. Should be good.
Pen gap.
Yeah, it's fine at that then, isn't it? Right, let me just make sure I'm happy. Go for it there, pen it there. May as well get the next one if you can get it. Right, just stand to the side and just tell me if that's pointing down or out or not. You might have to come this side, Connor, over my right shoulder. I can't tell if that's pointing, we're in my left hand, I can't tell if that's pointing right or not. Don't want to go up a bit?
No, it's pointing up, that's fine.
We're good?
Yeah, it's contour, it bumper that.
Right. Oh. So then, let's tack them three together. We have got another part here on the floor, but we know that that's going to need alteration. It's a 15-degree, but it's going to need changing to more like a 10. And then we're going to put a valve straight onto that. And then that side will just be a turn down, and that's this side done. We'll show you then how we're going to do with this next bit. I've been panning it over in my head, not sure how to do it, but I think I've got it in my head now. I think I know how I want to do it. Show you in a second. Let's get this tacked together. Let's get this left side done. And once this left side's done, we'll let Connor start welding. And then we'll make that silencer while he's welding that up. And then we can start doing the other side. We're going to address this rubber situation in a second as well, because we still need to do something about these rubbers. Okay folks, little status update. Where are we at? The back section is all tacked together, including the valve and the turn down. Now Connor is just going to weld these two welds and these two welds only. You'll understand why a little bit later on in the video, but I'm not going to weld this entire thing up until later, just because that's the time consuming bit. I want to get everything mocked together. And this is where we're going to branch off. We're going to do like a 60-degree branch off, which is going to go to the other side of the car, and it literally falls. Where it needs to go, it falls right across one of these welds, so it needs to be welded first. While Connor's welding that, we are going to make the silencer box. Let's do that. Let's have a little bit of a chat then about this silencer, how we're going to do it. Now, it's a bit of a weird thing, and I'm trying to make this into a chamber box, so let me try and explain. The inlet, the pipe inlet, is going to come in at the bottom of the silencer, because that's the way it is. The shape is a weird shape. This all has to be tucked up into the wheel arch. We're going to be coming into the bottom of the silencer, and we're going to be exiting the top side on the opposite way. But I want to chamber this internally, because I'm trying to limit the amount of whistle to as minimum as possible, because it's not a 335D. We don't want it whistling like mad when the valve's shut. We want it as quiet as we can, or at least I'm going to try my best. The way we're going to do it, we're going to put 2 plates internally. There's going to be one with 2 holes in there. There's going to be another one on the other side, which is going to create an internal chamber. The pipe then, the perforated tube, is going to come in, and it's going to be a long length, and it's just going to be buttered up to the inside. So essentially it's going to be a long length of perforated tube with a gap in the middle. The exact same on the other side. It's going to be a long length of perforated tube buttered up to this end of the plate with a gap in the middle. So the gas is going to come in, it's going to sort of like bounce off there, rebound up through there, and then it's going to disperse into the silencer and out through the tailpipe. Bear in mind, this is what I'd call like the, what do you call it, the high pressure side, because it's the smaller tube, so it's going to be getting pushed through there. It's 2.5 inches, a little bit small for the 6-cylinder engine, but just bear in mind this is a valve system. If he wants to give that, unleash the roar, boom, flick the button open, he's got 3-inch on demand, and it'll be super duper loud through the 3-inch straight pipe. This, the only job of this is not to make power. The only job of this is going to be to keep the car quiet when we want it quiet. So the job for us now, let's get these plates inside there. The holes, you can see, if you can see the holes, look. See, I've drilled holes through the plate. That's where we're going to weld the plates inside. So as we shove them inside, we have to knock them in with an hammer. You'll see in a second. This is where we weld them. We weld them through the holes. That keeps them in place internally. Let's do that first. Bushka, 2 plates tacked in internally. Now they're only tacked at the minute, I will need to weld them. Connor's just welding some little bits up on that exhaust. And I haven't got my other workbench set up yet. That's coming this year. Another workbench, get my other spare welder set up, then we're gonna have 2 working welding benches. I can weld, he can weld. It's what we've been needing for a long time. That's coming this year. Along with some other big changes coming this year as well. Stay tuned for that. Now we need to get some measurements, get some perforated tube cut, and get the end caps on, get it packed, get the damn thing on the car. So perforated tube lengthwise, we're gonna want a little bit of stick out, sooner it'd be too long than too short. So we're gonna go with 41.5 centimeters times 2 of those. Poof, just like that, 2 of them. All right, let's get them in here. That's 1. That's 2. Nice. Now we need to pack it. Let's measure the depth of that so we know how much packing, how wide it needs to be. It wants to be 16 centimeters wide. Move that to one side for a second. Let's get our packing. 16 centimeters, where's that? There. Let's just double check. That one there. Right, let's cut that there. Oh my God, them scissors are useless. Let's try these ones. Oh, like heaven. Like magic. Right, see it again. That one's a little bit taller, so I'm going to have to cram that in there. Right, that's one side packed. So we'll get the cap on that one. So that one will be the inlet. So we'll put the hole at the bottom. So that's one side in, tacked in. Want welding shortly. Time to pack the other side. Exactly the same procedure. With this one, I think I'll just cut that straight down the middle. Should have waited before I did that. That was stupid. I have to do that one again. Should have waited before I squashed it in like that. Try that again. Don't want to go this one, does it? Does not want to go. Come on. There we go. Right, I'm not going to squash it down until I've got the other side one in. Fail. They're not the easiest to pack. We're in. Right, squash them down. Right, now just remember we're going offset to offset, so we need to make sure we get the plates the right way. So entry at bottom, we want the other exit to be this one. Right boys, I better give you a sit rep and where we at. We've got quite a bit done since I last spoke to you. So as you can see now, we've got the turn down on one side. How fresh is that looking? Look at that. Just takes the contour of that car. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful. So all just tacked together at a minute. A couple of bits are welded. Valves welded in, so we just want to make sure it didn't pull and valve still operates. All these all still need welding. You'll see here, this is going to be the takeoff. Now hopefully it's making sense to you how the valve is going to work. So the gas is going to come all the way up that tube and it's going to come out of there when the valve's open. But when that valve shuts, that's then going to make the exhaust gas be forced down this smaller tube, which is going to go out the silencer what we made earlier. It'll be exactly the same, out the silencer, turn down, jobby done. Now hangers, you'll see here, I have made a hanger. I've made an hanger plate which offsets the hanger rubber slightly offwards, so that gives me more space to get this bend through because it's a lot bigger tube than what we're already on there, bizarrely. So yeah, that's offset that, that's nice. This side though, sadly this side, the same thing isn't going to work because the space is completely different. Obviously 3-inch tube is a hell of a lot bigger. Look at that fit up. Absolutely stunning. That's going to weld a dream. All this all still needs welding. There's a hell of a lot to do, hell of a lot. But we get in there, we get in there. We're going to put another hanger off of this as well. We're going to put a plate on there that's going to go up into a rubber, and then there's going to be another hanger on front. Safe flexi ever failing. As I always say guys, the devil is in the detail. We try and make sure all little detail, all bases are covered. I'm trying to make sure whatever I build for someone is going to last. What we on we now then? What's next? Connor's just cutting 2 other bits for this. So because it's so close, we need a 30-degree bend and then a 30-degree back, which is going to swerve it like that into the box. That's next job. As soon as Connor's got them cut, we'll get them tacked in. We'll get box offered up there, get that tacked on, and then really it's just hangers and hours worth of welding. And I mean hours worth. Probably going to set the welder up, and we're probably both going to have it, to be fair. Otherwise we'll be here all day, literally. Okay, I think it's time to address some of these hanger problems then. You'll see here, we've made this stainless plate. There were 3 threads sticking down here. They would have originally been another piece, I'm sure, something rubber, because it shouldn't be mounted solid to exhaust. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a rubber on there, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. Let me just grab the rubber. So what we want is, we want this rubber to be sat up here in that sort of position somewhere, tucked up nice and high, look. It's not going to be dangling low. We're going to have a bar that comes off of that, goes through that rubber, and we need like a cone on end of it to stop it falling out. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in a second. Once that's there, then we'll just put a little hanger from the rubber to the bottom of that exhaust there. Just gives this front bit a little bit of stability, because there is no hangers anywhere on this front bit until you literally get to rear diff. And we know how bad BMWs are for killing flexes. Well, we don't want the exact same on this, seeing as it is basically a BMW. So you've only got hangers here, look at back, and then obviously we've got the other ones towards the back. Well, again, we need to alter. So yeah, let me show you how I'm going to do that. Let me show you how I'm going to put that cone on the end. What I mean by that cone is, here's one of the original back ones. Look, see how you've got that cone on the edge to stop the rubber popping off? Let me show you how I'm going to make that the ghetto way. Connor's just tacking some up in the blinders. Right, here's how we're going to do it the ghetto way. So this is a piece of 12mm stainless round bar, which fits perfect inside that rubber. But we need to put a cone on the end of it. So what I've done, took it upstairs to the lathe and get the camera to focus, focus. I don't think it's going to focus, is it? Come on, there we go. Machined a step into it, and then that is just a stainless nut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pulse weld that stainless nut, and then I'm going to put this bar in the drill, take it over to the linisher, shape the edge of it like a cone like that. The ghetto way. You can buy them, they're expensive. You could make them, but it'd take you forever to make loads of them, unless you've got a CNC lathe. So you'll see normally on hangers I usually just bend the end down. On this one I can't really do that, so I'm going to make it the posh way, but doing it the ghetto way, if that makes sense. Right, let's weld that on there, and I'll show you. Apologies about the background noise. Connor's cutting away. Now I'm only going to pulse weld this on. Don't need to be on there like, it's nothing structural, just got to hold it on. So I'm only going to pulse it on. Get a couple of tacks on it. If you've got a couple of tacks, simply just run round with pulse. Easy peasy. Bosh, done. That gas cover is just cool that down a little bit, so it's glowing cherry red, that is. And it is stainless, so we don't want to kill its stainless properties, do we? Right. Now we're going to take that over to the linisher in the drill, and we're going to shape the end of it. Watch this. And that is how to make a rubber anti-slip the ghetto way. Look at that, lovely jubbly. And there we can see, look, a finished rubber. Welded, bar on, bent up. Let me show you where it fits. Just there, like that. That gives us an extra, let me flip you around. That now gives us an extra rubber support up front. Just every little helps, doesn't it? We don't want all weight exhaust dangling up flexi. So that little rubber there will just put a little bit of support in that front section, and then all the back angles will do the job for the rest of it. Lovely jubbly. Let's get that bolted on. We probably won't make that angle tool last, because if you look where it's going to fall, oh, I don't know actually, it might be alright. It might curl around here. So none of these are welded at the moment. It might be alright, we might be able to put it on first. Right, I'm going to put you guys down, I'm going to bolt that on, and then we're going to continue on this back bit. We need to address this rubber situation then now, don't we? See on this side, look, I made a new one, and it were absolutely perfect. There's plenty of space there for us to get in. But on this side where the pipe's 3-inch, yeah, as you can see, not so much. Now I did actually make two. When I were doing that side one, I thought, oh, I'll just make one of them and I'll put that on the other side. Sadly, it doesn't work on this side. You just cannot get it in. I'm even struggling to get you in to show you, just because the space is so tight around this 3-inch bit. But as you can see, if I try and line that up to them bolt holes, the rubber's touching the exhaust. So what we need to do is we need to make essentially another one of these, but rather than, see how we've got the rubber in the middle, the rubber needs to be offset, like so, right in this corner. So this needs to be similar shape, much longer. We need to put the rubber right in this corner. And then I'm pretty sure, with a bit of a look, we might actually get that. So, a little bit of a waste of material, but only through my own fault. Let's make a new one. Let's see if we can get it this time. Right, let's see if we can get this rubber sorted out then. This rubber situation. So, rather than rather than it being in the middle, we need it massively offset. So I think what we're going to do is how are we going to do this, Nathan? How are we going to do it? We want that entire bit there. And then let's put a fold line. So essentially that's going to be his fold line. Because we're happy with the shape here, we just need the rubber in a different place. There's going to be the end of it. There's going to be the hole. There's going to be the other hole, because the holes line up. We know that, we've checked it. Just draw down the side. Now this is where the difference comes. We want that to be like that sort of shape. And then when we fold it, we're going to put the rubber there. So rather than it coming out with the rubber in the middle, if I do that, put the rubber there, we'll fold that up like that. The rubber should be massively offset. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and check on car. Looking at that, the rubber would fall about here. Well, it's just not quite in line with that bolt hole. It'll probably fall about there. We're just going to go and take it over to the car. I'm going to go make sure that's going to work before I cut it, because I don't want to waste more material. If it's going to work, let's make it. Green light, looks like it'll work to me. Let's cut that out. We get some safety specs. I've just retrieved my pin, which the rubber's going to sit on. I've just retrieved that off of that. It was slightly long anyway, so we've got plenty of space. We'll put some new dimple dies in the new one. Let's cut it out. Version 2. That were hot, burnt my hand. Right, ready to drill some holes. Shaped it up a little bit. Right, let's take this over to press then. Let's get these dimples pressed into it. You're all going to see Escort in the background. Yes, you're all busting me about Escort. I can't do anything, guys. I can't do anything. I'm waiting for wiring loom. I'm dead in the water. I cannot do anything until wiring loom comes back. Sadly, I know you're all itching to see Escort go. Me and you both. I've got about 100 hours in that thing. And I've not even so much as heard it play a tune yet. What can I do? I'm waiting on someone else. Wish I did it myself, I'll be honest. I really wish I did it myself. But that's enough on that. We're not on Escort today. Don't upset me. Let's get these pressed in here. That's one. You see, look, that's what it does. Goes from that to that, and it just adds a hell of a lot of rigidity into your plate. Fabricator's secret weapon. That's what they are. That's another one. Try use it right end. Bosh. Right, let's get the bar welded in. Let's go and see if it fits on car. Right, Connor's just got that all welded up. Time to see if it fits. Should do. Flick this light on. Oh boys. Stick with me and you'll go far. Look at that. Bolt that up. Beautiful. Get an hanger out of that. Perfect round that pipe. Almost exactly the same as this side. Sorry it's a bit dark under here. Right, and while I've been fanning about with all them rubbers, Connor's got this back bit absolutely nailed, look. So silencer's on there, turn down's on there. That is now everything is tacked up complete. The only thing we've got to do is put some hangers on it and weld the entire thing. Let's have a look then at the final hoorah before we weld it all. There's a lot of welding here, boys, a hell of a lot of welding. So much so we've set both welders up. I'll show you it set up in a sec. Everything's done, all the hangers. There's just a hell of a lot. How many welds have we got? There's 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Some of them are already done. What we got up here? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 welds at 3-inch circumference. Somebody who's good at math, work that out. How long is that in a straight line? Probably at length at garage, twice. It's a long way, hell of a long way. Right, let me show you the setup. So obviously Connor's welding on the usual bends, which is this one. In the new year, there's going to be big changes in this workshop. Big changes. But for now, we've got my spare welder set up here. This is not really a welding bench. We just use this for cutting and stuff, so it's mucky and not ideal, but we don't want to be still here at 10 tonight welding this up, so we're going to both boss it out. But yes, big changes coming new year. Stay tuned for that. Let's get this exhaust off and let's get welding. Well boys, that was a graft. Serious amount of welding to be done. But there is the final product, the final end result. The only last thing we've got to do now is wire up the valve to the fob, remote fob, so we can open and close the valve. That's going to be the very, very last job, and then we can have a listen to see what it sounds like. And boy am I excited to go for a cruise in it, because it's a Rolls Royce, isn't it? It's a Rolls Royce. I can't wait to go for a spin. Before we do that, let me give you a proper explanation now of how this system works, because I'm guessing some of you know, but not everybody does. So let's give you an explanation. So because it is a straight 6, we are now just converted to a single bank exhaust. So this is 3-inch. You won't believe it. It looks like 2-inch, doesn't it? Because there's so much space. But this is a 3-inch main tube. So the gas is going to come all the way down this main tube. And then this is where the interesting part comes. So when that valve there is open, that exhaust gas is not going to want to take that 90-degree turn. It's going to want to take the path of least resistance, which is going to be bump straight down there, straight out to tailpipe. When the valve is closed, the exhaust gas has got nowhere else to go other than take that 90-degree turn down this smaller 2.5-inch tube into the silencer, thus making it quieter. We hope. That's the plan. Let's see if that actually works in practice. Let's get it down, because Carl needs this ramp now. Carl's got a bit of tracking to do. We're going to get it down, we're going to get it off at 4-poster, and we're going to wire this valve up, and then we'll see if it actually works as it's supposed to do. Right, here we go then. Let's get this wiring sorted, and then we can go out and have a play, can't we? So here I've got my diagram. I've done this before, so I usually save that diagram just so I know exactly how it goes. Electrics are not my strongest point. Not bad, but I don't claim to be an electrician. I can wire a valve up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this horrible switch off. We don't want that, do we? Heck no. We want to be using these fobs. Right. Right, and that's it. All we need to do now is put an ignition live, earth that out, mount this in the car somewhere, run the wire to the valve through the body. That's going to be the most difficult part, routing that through the body neatly. Other than that, just get this in the car. Dying to hear it. Check this out, look. Little button in here, sitting back at car, press button. Proper gangster car. Well, boys and girls, there it is, the finished article. Just come out that way a little bit. It's a bit busy down at our yard, so we've just come out that way up to the top. I'm going to get a little rev for you. Let you have a listen, show you how the fob works. So, here is how the fob works. You'll be able to hear the exhaust note change. Ready? Pretty cool. Right, let's get some revs, see what it sounds like. Now bear in mind, it is a diesel BMW, so it ain't gonna sound amazing, is it? But appreciate the effort what's gone into it, and then we're gonna go for a spin in it and we'll see what it's like to drive, eh? I tell you, just driving it up here, it is a rate chomper. It's massive, it's so big. Right, here you are, Connor. So this is valve closed. Pretty quiet as we want it. Valve open.
I couldn't keep it still then, I was getting munched.
Did you ever think you'd see a hard cut limiter on a Rolls Royce Phantom? I'll do it one more time, let's go for a spin.
That sounds vicious, that and all.
That is naughty, isn't it? Proper naughty sounding. And then one more time, valve closed. Back to quiet. Tell me that is not absolutely sick. Right, come on, let's go for a spin, I'm dying. Right, let's go guys. You are POV in a Rolls Royce Phantom with a BMW diesel engine in it. Just the car itself is absolutely gangster. Look at the size of it in here. Like Donald Trump.
Is this what they're driving it, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like what? President having it? Great motor. It just feels ginormous. Like I can't really show you guys, but looking up at bonnet, it feels like I'm driving a boat. Massive. And that exhaust, with that valve closed, absolutely lovely. It's quiet, quiet as a mouse. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed that. We'll try driving it with it open in a minute. Tell you what, it's hard cut. He said I put you a naughty hard cut on there just for a laugh. That is naughty sound. It sounds evil. We're about to find out what hotel he's stopping at and go and grab him.
Yeah.
Might do actually. Where's Ibis?
I'm not sure. Well, there's a travel lodge there. Where's that one? That here.
What's it like to drive? You're probably thinking. Smooth, proper smooth. It feels a bit like a Range Rover, like rate smooth, rate big. That's what it feels like to drive. I can barely see off a thing. I feel like I'm sat right low down. I could do a bit higher up, but me and Connor don't know how to. We haven't got a clue how you adjust seats.
Definitely not these.
That's radio, isn't it? We can't figure out how you adjust seat because we can't really see anything. It'll be something posh. There'll be like a button or something.
Wait, oh no, that's seat one.
That's heated seats. What's that? PDC lift boot. It'll be something posh. I wish you were on insurance so I could sit in back. It looks mint. We haven't had doors open, in fact, have we? Suicide doors. Oh, we definitely need to get suicide doors open. Might have had them open, yeah.
Where wine comes out.
Everyone's looking at us like we are some Albanian gangsters.
For winning that, that's not. Window on. Oh, my window. What is that? Oh, it's a Fiesta.
Oh, it lights back wheels up, I tell you. Just got a wheel spin out at junction. Right, so we've got valve open now. Noise mode. What a cruiser.
As if this fucking is.
I can't believe it. That engine pulls this big thing pretty well, doesn't it? I mean, I ain't even got my foot down to. This is not that type of car. We're not about racing this. I don't want to see how fast it is. That's not what this car's about. I just want to cruise in it. I want to just sit back and cruise. If we don't get a copyright strike, I'd have a bit of Ice Cube on right now. When we get a copyright strike. It's just a cruiser. I just want to drive it. I don't even care about how fast it is. But in case you're wondering, does the BMW engine pull it? Comfortably. Absolutely comfortably. Like,
no problems.
Put your foot flat down and gears down and you're off. It's a big car and you don't want to be going fast in this anyway.
No.
We're sat there comfortably. Tell you what though, everything works. Everything on dashboard
it feels
works.
very good, that air suspension. I know what it's like.
Everything works absolutely perfect. So it just all works mint. Like speedo working mint, fuel gauge, temp gauge, like the digital gear selector selects gears. It's got it running through automatic gearbox. Everything works. It just drives as it should. It's a rate conversion. I'm proper pleased with it. Proper pleased with it. It's a rate car. We're just going for a cruise, mate. That's what we're doing. We're not racing this. And I'm not going back down bypass neither. We're going back through Dropfield. We look like absolute gangsters, and then we're going to go and pick him up if Carl rings him and lets me know where he's at. Like that's open, look. You can tell. Turn it off when I'm mid-throttle, listen.
Yeah,
just goes completely goes, doesn't it? The throttle, the exhaust note just disappears completely. So that is perfect fitting for the car. Lovely jubbly on that. I'm happy with that. It were never going to sound like an RS6.
No.
Just obviously bear in mind, yeah, it is a diesel motor, so it were never going to sound amazing.
Perfect daily though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god, this imagine daily. What a gangster. And it does. He's got his. I mean, I don't know if you can see it in back. He's got his car seat in back. Imagine rocking up to school dropping Young'un off in this. I can't fault him, honestly. Daniel, you are a G. I cannot fault you, mate. Honestly, I can't. I'm actually jealous of this. This is one car. I would sooner drive this than a Lamborghini. I promise you. Promise you. If somebody lined them both up, I would sooner have this. Regardless of the cost, obviously. Which one would I actually sooner daily? This one. All day. Lamborghinis are cool, aren't they? But they're low to the floor. They're just no good, are they? This is an absolute G.
This, if it ever breaks, you're paying BMW parts, aren't you? Not Lamborghini parts.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, essentially underneath, a lot of this is BMW, like we've showed you. That engine, what's in there, they're an old engine, aren't they now? Let's say anything goes wrong with it. Imagine repairing a V12 Rolls Royce engine.
Yeah.
Imagine
you want to
ringing,
go back through Dronfield?
I don't know where he's at, do we? Imagine ringing Rolls Royce saying, "Hiya pal, can I have some coil packs?" They'd be like £1,000 each. Sat nav on.
5 miles.
Not too bad, is it? Right, we've got his location. We know where he's staying. We're gonna go and pick him up, so we ain't got to get a taxi. Yeah, what about for customer service?
Here's Daniel.
Yeah. What about that for customer service, eh? What's the point making him get a taxi there when we can go and fetch him when we're out playing in it anyway?
Right, straight through Chesterfield town.
Is it straight through Chesterfield town centre?
I think third exit on roundabout. Shall I open back doors for him, Mikey?
Jump in, sir. Here, I'll get it. He's gonna jump in.
I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
Yeah, fuck that. You stay away.
What a tank, mate. It's fucking massive, isn't it, driving through Chesney Town? It's massive. It's like a limousine.
It's the only thing, it is fucking huge.
It's huge.
Oh, watch it, alright?
We'll give you a little... That fucking hard cut's naughty, innit? It's right loud.
I was unsure how it'd be because I couldn't really hear it because of the exhaust.
That's right loud, so...
I like that.
That's nice and quiet, how quiet it's silent.
Yeah.
Then we're driving, that's closed.
Lovely. That is lovely.
I like it in quiet mode, I do.
I like it in loud
just
mode.
cruise.
I love, so you hear all these PDs with pop bang, lift off pop bangs and flare maps and that.
Oh,
yeah, I'm responsible for a lot of them. I love them.
Great.
Traffic's going to be bad wherever you go now, it's all full.
Yeah, it's chaos, isn't it? Absolutely chaos. It took us about 20 minutes to figure out how to work everything and like to move seats back and all sorts. What a bus though. What a cruiser. Engine's bang on and all, isn't it? It pulls its sound.
Yeah, it's alright, isn't it? Like I say, I've got a... I can't remember what size I'm in for now. 2568 maybe, I can't remember.
I don't want to say it's fast, but this is it's not a car to go fast in, is it? It's just a cruiser,
Do you know
isn't it?
what? So my plan was to go for maybe 600 or something like that,
Yeah.
twin C3P pump and all that. And
Yeah.
I was in it one day with our mate and I said, do you know what, I think it'd ruin it. I was like, when can you go so fast in it?
When would you want to go fast in this?
It?
Yeah.
Like, you come into a corner, you're just going to bin it, aren't you? Like,
Yeah.
So I thought if I just went for just a low high hybrid, 400 horse.
Just a little bit more pickup as you when you're moving, just a little bit more oomph.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, in terms of engine, it pulls it nice.
Yeah, you can't knock it.
It drives lovely, doesn't it? It actually drives like it's meant to be in there.
Yeah.
It drives, especially with valve closed, you know, it's silent, it's mint. I love it. Well boys, that's all she wrote. I filmed this job for you until I'd literally got no battery on my camera. Sadly, we did miss a funny little conversation with Dan on way back. We were sat in traffic for ages. Is what it is. We missed out on it. What a guy, what a car. Really hope you've enjoyed this video, folks, and we'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget, check out, if this video's out, keep an eye on my other videos. The exhaust giveaway video is coming very shortly. I'll see you all there.